your serious injury attorney. Never settle for less, just call Jed.
Jed Dietrich is Western New York's aggressive, tenacious, and hard-working serious personal injury lawyer, located at 140 Metro Park, Rochester. Today, legendary broadcaster Linda Pellegrino talks with Jed about his practice, principles, and family, with attorney Colleen Dietrich, Jed's wife, on how the firm handles cases, like the one for Shahida Ali. Hear her amazing story and how this accident victim won her case. Then meet Nick Shemek, an attorney with the Dietrich Law Firm who works tirelessly for you. Now, attorney Jed Dietrich.
Call 939-3939, just call Jed.
Linda, it's great to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you. Well, you know what? There's always so much to talk about, Jed.
For all those out there, we're here for a presentation on what to do after a serious personal injury.
And you cover so many areas of the law, but one thing we should let people know is that this firm truly is different from a lot of other law firms. That could be very intimidating to a lot of people.
It is, and the reason we can clearly say we are different is because we get phone calls from a lot of clients who are with other firms, and they want to switch over to our firm. And we do take those cases, and the only reason we take them is if we believe we can do a better job than the other firm. Mm-hmm. We can't do a better job in every case. But what we'll do is we'll take a look at whoever's case comes in the door, and we'll say, honestly and realistically, we think we can meet or exceed your expectations. Because the mission statement of my firm is to provide the highest level of personal injury service with an underline on service, because this is a service business. Mm-hmm. So if you're in an accident and you've got questions, you're gonna have a ton of questions, you're gonna have a ton of paperwork, these things need to be filled out. We are there to fill that paperwork out for you. We'll do it all for you. We'll answer your questions and provide you with excellent service.
Injured? Jed has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating.
Never settle for less. Call 939-3939, just call Jed.
So we're there for you. We have 17 legal professionals here, and what I like to say is we're the Team Dietrich. Team Dietrich is there to help you. So I went to Canisius High School like my son. I went to Temple University. I was on a rowing scholarship, and that was a great experience. I learned a lot from rowing, and what I learned is hard work pays off, and there are no shortcuts, Linda, and that's the bottom line. So in the legal business, we're here to fight for you. We're here to help you. We're here to put your mind at ease, and we do it in 3 ways primarily: through being truthful with you, and you're truthful with us, working hard for you, and then coming together as a team to try to get the best result for our clients. So I've been a lawyer for over 20 years, and I've been doing this personal injury work for over 20 years, and that's allowed me to hone my craft in an effort to attempt to do the very best for my clients.
And you know, Jed, that is so comforting, because a lot of times a lawyer comes into somebody's life at a traumatic time, maybe it was an accident, and somebody who's coming to you has so many questions, they might not even know what questions they have until maybe they meet you for the second time. And what's nice is that this office and you put people at ease, and you let people know, here's what's going to happen, and here's the time frame for that. And that can be tremendously helpful for a lot of people.
Exactly. The main issue that we hear from our clients, and again, you get into a car accident perhaps, or even a slip and fall, you start getting paperwork from the insurance companies, and people are overwhelmed with the paperwork. And any folks out there who've been in an accident know what I'm talking about, and if you're unfortunately in an accident, we'd encourage you to contact us right away, 939-3939. We're here, we're available for walk-ins, and I've got a staff of professionals that's here to help you. And I've said before, Linda, we follow the golden rule. We try to treat you the way we want to be treated. This isn't just a business about money, it's about the interaction between people. And I like to say we provide service, the highest level of personal injury service. So how do we do that? We do that by frequent trainings with my whole staff. I'll come into the office and in the main office, get all my staff members together and say, look, if people call, we always want to provide more service rather than less service. So we go to times in our lives where we get to a fork in the road, and you can provide more service or you can provide less service. And over again, I've encouraged my staff to provide more service in an effort to make it easier for our clients in their time of need. Because again, if the insurance companies were fair, you would not need me. You wouldn't need my staff. They would just write you a check for the fair amount and you'd be on your way. The problem is insurance companies are corporations primarily, and they're in the business to provide returns to their stockholders. What does that mean? Keep premiums as high as possible, keep the payouts as low as possible. What does that mean to someone who's in an accident? They don't want to pay you the fair value for the damage to your car. They don't want to pay you the fair value for missing 3 or 4 or 6 months of work. So we're here to help you in your time of need. We return every single phone call within 1 business day. We treat you the way we want to be treated, and we work hard to try to get the very best results for you.
Injured? Jed and his staff return all calls the same day.
Never settle for less. Call 939 39 39. Just call Jed.
And Jed, we always let people know, please call you sooner rather than later, because a lot of times for something like maybe even a traffic accident, there's deadlines. And if you miss those deadlines and you can't possibly know if you've never been into an accident before, it could hurt your case.
Absolutely. That's absolutely right, Linda. And I appreciate you bringing that up, because in the legal world, there are deadlines. You have to bring your case to court within a certain time frame. We have fine-tuned this craft. We have taken great pride in determining under a car accident case what are the deadlines, what needs to be done. So we're there for you. You have to fill out a form which is called the MV-104 form for the state of New York if you're in a car accident with more than $1,000 worth of damage. We will do that for you. So if you're in a car accident, call us. 939-3939.
Injured? Jed is a U.S. News best lawyer. Jed gives his cell number to every client.
Never settle for less. Call 939 39 39. Just call Jed.
So you come in, we can meet in our offices, we can meet in the conference room. We do all of the electronic legal work now in the business. We're cutting edge to that effect. And what I'm referring to are Zoom depositions. So we can do a deposition if you can't come to us from your home. You can go on your computer with your video and do a Zoom deposition with the defense attorney who's in his office. We can do it from our office. We do pretrial conferences by Zoom under the circumstances to keep things moving under these uncertain times that we're in. We're also available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to answer your calls. So if you have a problem, if it's the middle of the night, call us. 939 39 39. We will get back to you in short order if we're not available at that particular time. We're here to help those who are injured in their time of need.
Injured? Jed Dietrich is a 2019 and 2020 Litigator of the Year for injury law.
Never settle for less. Call 939 39 39. Just call Jed.
Welcome to our presentation. I'm Jed Dietrich. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, contact us. I'm here with Shahida Ali, who's one of my former clients, and Colleen Dietrich, who's also a lawyer here at the firm. Shahida, thank you for coming in.
You're welcome.
It's great to see you again.
You too.
We have known each other for so long, more than a decade. How many years is it, Shahida?
16 years.
16 years.
Yeah.
Tell the folks out there what it was like. What happened?
I was in a car accident with my newborn daughter and my ex-husband. It was a pretty bad accident. I was T-boned, so they had to use the jaws of life to pull me out the car. I ended up going to hospital, woke up the next morning and started the process. I remember the commercial for this one law firm and called them. I worked with them for a year. It was not to my liking. I only met them the one time, and my father-in-law at the time recommended you guys because he was in an accident before previously, and he highly recommended you. We called you, and you actually had us come in that exact day, which was beautiful. We came in, we told you what happened, and you took up on the case on what was going on. You made the transition very perfect because it was a year of just not going anywhere with them. So that was very nice, and ever since then, unfortunately, I had 2 more accidents, and I just kept coming back to you for assistance.
Well, I'm happy you did, and it's important for folks out there, because you may be out there and you may have a case pending, you may have started with another law firm. We do get involved. If you start with someone else, you're allowed to switch, and it doesn't cost you anymore. The attorney's fee is always 1/3. It will never be more than 1/3. So if you're with another firm, you're not happy with the services they provide, I don't guarantee that I'm going to take every case, but what we'll do is we'll listen to you, we'll listen to the facts, we'll ask you what the problem is with the other firm, and if we feel that we can meet or exceed your expectations, we will become involved. involved, and we will facilitate a smooth transition from the other firm. You won't have to deal with them at all. You won't have to talk to them. You won't have to see them. We will not get any additional fee. The fee will always be 1/3. If the other firm is entitled to a fee, we will negotiate with them, or if we have to, we'll litigate with them over the fee, but that usually doesn't happen. It's usually a smooth transition when folks come to us if they're unhappy at a different firm. But again, we don't take every case like that. We only take the cases where we think we can meet or exceed the client's expectations, because our goal is to always do that, to provide the highest level of personal injury service in a way that meets or exceeds the expectations of the client. What we do is we try to make it as easy as possible to go through the system. We've got 17 legal professionals here that are dedicated to helping you get through your problem to get back on your feet.
Call 939-3939. Just call Jed.
Tell the folks out there what it was like to work with us. You had been with another firm who was a firm that talked about trying to handle car accidents, right? Like a lot of the firms are out there. If you had an accident, you have a lot of choices to make. You don't want to hire the wrong firm. You hire the wrong firm, it's going to affect your ability to get good service and how much money you get. But what I really like to say is we try to provide the highest level of personal injury service. And what does that mean? It means return every phone call within 1 business day. It means sending the clients letters, telling them what's going on with the case, and treating the others the way we want to be treated, our clients.
Learn my lesson from that experience. I do highly recommend every time someone gets an accident, I do give out y'all information because, like you said, especially in a situation like that, you're already stressed, and you don't want to be feeling like they're not there for you. So I knew I was going to be comfortable. It was like you said, it was like a family thing. So me, him, and my father all was with you.
Thank you so much for saying that. What we try to do is get to know our clients, work on your case in a way that allows us to come together as a team in an attempt to get the very best result. Right now, we're really technologically advanced in the office. We can actually have a retainer signed from your phone, so we can send you the DocuSign documents. We go all over Western New York, we go all over New York State. I actually am admitted in Pennsylvania. I have cases in Pennsylvania, I have cases in other states throughout the country. And it's important to note that we don't take every case, but the cases we do take, we take great pride in handling them in a way that we can say at the end of the day, we did what we could do. We did all we could do to help our clients. I'm also here with the mother of my 3 children, Colleen Dietrich, who's been an attorney for a long time. I'll ask her to define how many years she's been an attorney.
I think I'll decline to define how many years. I have been an attorney for a long time. Early on in my career, I started out representing the insurance companies on the other side of personal injury matters. And over the years, I came to work here at the law firm, representing clients and helping individuals deal with the insurance companies so that they have the benefit of an attorney on their side.
Again, I think that's a good background for the folks out there to understand that the insurance company lawyers are there to protect the insurance company. They definitely want to minimize the value and the injuries to the person who's injured in the case, the person who's not at fault. They want to protect the person who's negligent. So your experience handling that allows us to understand their tactics.
It can be very unfortunate because early on after an accident, a person might be contacted by an insurance company and they don't realize perhaps that they are significantly injured, and the insurance company might use tactics or efforts to convince the individual that the best thing for them to do right away is sign and they'll receive a check.
Small check.
It's very unfortunate because what can happen is down the road somebody may find out that they in fact have a serious injury, that they need help, that they need compensation, that they need their wages paid, that they need their property damage claim addressed. But if they haven't had the benefit of an attorney looking out for their interests, they may have signed away their rights, or they may not, their claim may not be protected because sometimes there are deadlines that have to be met, which an attorney, when brought on early on after an accident, can address all of those issues. Here at the Dietrich Law Firm, that's exactly what we do, and the earlier the better, I would say.
Injured? Jed is a super lawyer. Jed gives his cell number to every client.
Never settle for less. Call 939-3939. Just call Jed.
Legal business is a business controlled by time deadlines. There are constraints on your ability to make a claim if you don't do it in a timely fashion. So we're here to help you under that circumstance. We don't handle other types of cases. We only handle serious personal injury cases. You may not know how serious your case is, though. So if you're in a car accident, your neck is sore, your back is sore, contact us at 939-3939. We're here to listen to you, to try to help you, to guide you through the system, because there are just stacks and reams of paperwork that will come to you, and it's intimidating. You get a package, an envelope from your insurance company. It's that thick. It's an inch thick, and it's got all these different forms. It says, fill this out. If you don't fill it out within the next couple of days, or you're not going to have any rights, and we're going to take your rights away. That's when you need to contact us at 939-3939, because we will fill out the paperwork for you. We'll help you get your disability note from your doctor. We'll get you to the right spot in terms of whether you need an MRI or not. We can guide you, because many times a person's regular doctor may not even take no-fault insurance coverage, and that's the worst thing in the world. The client needs their doctor, and their doctor isn't comfortable with the no-fault system. So where do they go? What do they do? We're here to help. We're here to direct you, because we've been through it over and over and over again. So if you're out there, you've been in an injury, accident, it's not your fault, contact us at 939-3939, or feel free to go to our website, which is www.calljed.com, CALLJED.com. We encourage our clients to go to Google reviews. We've got over 100 5-star Google reviews. And that, I think, is a testament to what we do in our office to try to service our clients.
Actually, the last one, talking to Peggy, she told me I had a Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, well, that's different. Facebook wasn't out back then.
Right.
So I actually went right onto your page and wrote a nice little review.
Thank you
and you
so
actually
much.
commented on it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
thank you.
So it was lovely just seeing it. And then every time your commercial, like I was saying, comes on, I tell her, oh, that's my lawyer right there. So I definitely brag about y'all.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Shahida, I mean, you've been so kind by referring other folks to my attention. Honestly, it makes us energized to go out and just do what we do to the best of our ability. I mean, I get up in the morning and say, what am I going to do today? I'm going to try to fight zealously and vigorously, aggressively on behalf of my clients to try to put them in a situation where the best result is the thing we're looking for.
Yes, definitely. Not once did I have any negative situation, everything was just ran smoothly every time. And I always told Peggy, every time we close out the case, she was like, well, see you next time. Well, I hope I don't see you next time, but if I have to, yes, I will definitely come back.
Absolutely. No, I mean, again, we don't want anyone out there to get into an accident, but if you're watching now, you may have been in an accident. So I'd strongly encourage you to contact us morning, noon, or night. We're at 939-3939, or go to our website, which is www.calljed.com, CALLJED.com, or go to Google reviews. Punch in Jed Dietrich lawyer, Jed Dietrich attorney. You'll see what comes up. You'll also see YouTube videos of other interactions I've had with other clients. Do your homework, do your research, be comfortable with the firm you hire, as opposed to hiring a volume operation or a big organization that you're just a number. We're there for you. We're available. I give my clients my cell phone number. Every single client I give my cell phone number to, you know that. Your picture comes up when you call me, because I have every picture of every client in my phone. So what does that do? It allows me to know who I'm talking to. It allows me to know what that person's like, because I know them. I mean, I know what they're like because I see them, I talk to them, I interact with them. That's the difference between our firm and another firm. We make a plan, we effectuate that plan, we change whatever is not going right in the circumstance in an effort to try to put us into a strong position to get you the best result.
And I personally can agree, because back to the first law firm, I only met them that one time. The initial sign of papers, never seen them. I don't even know their names, don't know what they look like.
Yeah.
So with you guys, it was constant communication, even if it was no update, just calling and saying, we don't have an update, you know. So it's making me know that you're doing what you need, you know, what you're doing. So I definitely recommend you guys.
I'm so glad you brought that up. And Colleen knows this, because if Colleen isn't at the office that day, she'll say, what did we do at the office that day? And I'll say, I went through every single case in my portfolio, and I went through every single case in my associate Brian's portfolio this day. I went through every single case with Nick in his portfolio, so that we know what's going on with the cases. We make absolutely sure that all of the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Once a month, I get a listing of every case in the office. We make absolutely sure that every single one of those clients has been contacted within the last 30 days. Very frequently, many more times than that, but my concern is I don't don't ever want a client to say, we haven't heard from our attorney, we don't know what's going on with the case. So I have systems in place in the office to make sure that's being done. And we have a great staff that follows up.
Injured? Jed has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating.
Never settle for less. Call 939-3939. Just call Jed.
Too many lawyers out there forget that it's not about the lawyer, it's really about the client. It's about listening to the client. So it's attorney and counselor at law. So we listen to the clients in an effort to understand where they're coming from. And I know, Shahida, you and I and you and Peggy and I worked together over these last 16 years on multiple cases. And it was interesting to see how the case was different when you were young versus the case being different when you have a little bit more seasoning. So why don't you talk about that?
It helped with going around the second time because, you know, at first I didn't know what no fault was, didn't know it was just a lot of information coming at me with, you got to do this, you got the insurance doctors, it just seemed a lot, and it was very overwhelming the first time. So the second time around, it definitely helped a lot, especially since I was coming back to familiar grounds, territories. I was more educated, knew what I needed to do. When y'all spoke to me, I actually knew what y'all was talking about. So yeah, from the age of 19 and then coming back at the age of, I believe, 28 it was a big difference.
Sure, and it's important at this point, I think, for the folks out there to understand this. Shahida's my former client. She's the actual client. She's not being paid for her time here today or for any of her testimony. In our market now, with the other infomercials that you're seeing and the other testimonials, it's my understanding that every other person there is a paid actor. And you should look at the commercials on the bottom and see, does it say paid actor or something like that? How genuine is that presentation to you versus what we're providing, which it is what it is. Shahida's a real client, and she was in a number of difficult personal injury accidents. I think your history of knowing us for all these years allows the folks out there to understand what it would be like to work with us.
Definitely. Highly recommend them.
Injured? Jed has over 100 5-star Google reviews.
Never settle for less. Call 939-3939. Just call Jed.
Welcome back to the presentation. I'm Jed Dietrich. I'm here to help you if you've been injured and it wasn't your fault. I'm also here with Colleen Dietrich, the mother of my 3 children and an attorney in my office, and an absolute all-star in the legal business, Nick Shemet, senior associate in my office. I'm going to have Nick explain to you what it's like to work in the Dietrich Law Firm and a little bit about his background. Go ahead, Nick.
I was fortunate enough to receive a scholarship to go to Dallas for law school. I was fortunate enough to get a job here at the Dietrich Law Firm. And you know, working here has been great from day one. And I remember the first day reading the very first letter to a client. At the bottom it says, "Welcome to the Dietrich Law Firm family." And as soon as I saw that, I knew I was in the right spot, because family is one of the most important things to me. And I know that, you know, going to law school, I wanted to help people. And I know that everyone always says, like, what would you do in this situation if your mother called you, if your grandmother called you, if your cousin called you? And that's what we do here every time we answer the phone. The client is like that person. If it's like our grandmother called us up and asked us, what should we do? We treat them like it's our grandmother calling or your mom calling you. You want to treat them the way you want to be treated to get the best result possible. It doesn't matter who it is on the other side of the phone, you treat them like family.
And that's our pleasure to have you represent the clients in that way, and that's my way. And we've been able to work together, Nick and I, for 6 years or so. And Nick came to me pretty much right out of law school, and it was a great opportunity for the two of us to work together. Nick, why don't you tell the folks about the structure and the mentoring that takes place in the firm here?
Yeah, so we work everything as a team approach. Jed and I work on our cases together. We bounce our ideas off each other. When it comes time to, you know, battle, trial, or mediation, we're in there together to get the best result we can for the clients, whether that's kind of coming up with the back-end approach as to how we're going to perceive the case and how we're going to portray the case and how we're going to prepare the client to ultimately getting the job done for them, which is obtaining the best result we can for them.
It's important for folks to know that we're there to battle for you all the way through trial. If there's an appeal, we're there to battle for you on the back end, and we will take it as far as it has to go to get the case resolved properly. But again, I want to set people's minds at ease. About 95 to 98% of the cases in my office settle without going to trial. They settle with our ability to create what's known as a settlement package, which includes the medical records and the property damage pictures and things like that. We send that to the insurance company, and then we negotiate back and forth. And Nick and the other lawyers in my firm and Colleen and I are negotiating on our clients' behalf all day long, and that's a competitive part of our business. Why don't you talk a little bit about the other ways that we can settle cases other than the settlement packages, Nick?
Sure, a lot of cases go through mediation.
Mediation is a private process where a neutral third person helps the parties discuss and try to resolve the dispute. The parties describe the issues, discuss their interests, and provide each other with information and explore ideas for the resolution of the dispute.
Which is a process that's outside the court's presence, but we sit down with the other attorneys and a neutral party, a mediator, to try to facilitate a resolution of a case. That's a way majority of cases resolve now, especially when things are set up properly from the beginning, like we're going to go to trial, we get the case prepared, they know we're serious, we get a trial date, we work backwards from there to try to get it resolved, either through mediation or sometimes cases go to arbitration.
Arbitration is a private process where disputing parties agree that one or several individuals can make a decision about the dispute after receiving evidence and hearing arguments. Arbitration is different from mediation because the neutral arbitrator has the authority to make a decision about the dispute.
Where an outside party will hear the case and they'd make a decision. And it sometimes is easier to get that done now than through the court system just because of a timing perspective.
Now, Colleen and I have been around the business a little longer than you, Nick, but what I'm getting at, though, is that Colleen and I know the other attorneys in Buffalo, whether it's the mediators or the arbitrators, and we think we can put the situation into a mediation and arbitration which is fair to all the parties. Colleen, why don't you talk about that in terms of your experience with the other lawyers in the Buffalo legal community?
While it's important to know the other attorneys, you're not always best friends with the other attorneys, nor do you want to be, because we want to protect our clients' interests, and if we need to go to battle, we need to go to battle against someone who we consider to be our adversary.
So whether the case is settled, that's fine with us. Everybody signs a release and everybody's happy, or whether the case goes all the way to trial, we're happy to do that either way. It's important to note that we prepare every case as if it's going to go to trial, though, because if you don't prepare the case as if it's going to go to trial, the insurance companies know that, and they don't offer the right number. They really try to lowball those lawyers. So if you have a case now and you think the offer's low or your attorney's not preparing it properly, your rights may be impacted in a negative way. So if you have questions, you can contact us at 939-3939. We'll review your case. If we think we can meet or exceed your expectations, we may become involved. But it's really best to contact us right from the get-go.
Attorney Jed Dietrich, his team, and his guests hope we have helped you get the help you need. Remember to call 585-939-3939 to connect with Jed, online at calljed.com and at his office, 140 Metro Park, Rochester. Thanks for watching.
Just call Jed. Call 939-3939. Just call Jed.
Injured? Jed has over 100 5-star Google reviews.
Never settle for less.